I'm making this video for one reason. That is to tell all you people who search the forums to answer people's questions and give them a bunch of BS to screw off. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay? Here's my dog Charlie. He's a pit bull. Pit bulls are lovely animals. I don't care what the rap is about them. This dog was a loyal dog. He protected my family. Every time I left for work, he would never let anybody in the yard unless my wife came out and let him in, or if I was here. My dog, for some reason, I don't know why, he was fine yesterday and he died. I don't know why. I spent hours on the internet putting in his symptoms on Google, trying to figure out what was going on, what I could do. I'm poor, okay? I don't have any problem with that. I'm poor. I work hard. I work 6, sometimes 7 days a week, provide for my family. I pay for my bills. I pay for everything. So I don't have no problem with that. If anybody does, turn the video off, dislike it, leave a bad comment, I don't care. But the problem I have is I spent hours weeding through crap trying to find an answer to what was wrong with my dog and what I could do. And everything I read was, people like me, hey, I can't afford to take my dog to the vet. Here's the symptoms. And people posting crap like, you need to take your dog to the vet. What kind of pet owner are you? You search the internet for answers. If one of your family members had those symptoms, wouldn't you take them to the doctor? That's a bunch of crap, so in my opinion. I rescued this dog. I'll tell you where I got him. I was at these people's house. I didn't want to be there. But anyways, I saw this puppy. I'm like, what are you going to do with that dog? And they said, oh, we're going to train this to be a fighting dog. We're going to make some money off this dog. It's a pure breed. And I found out that they're going to fight this dog for money. Yeah, well, I went back later that night and I stole this dog. And I brought him to my house. I gave him a good life. My kids loved him. They played with him. And, he had a much better life than fighting. I don't believe in that crap at all. That's horrible. Whoever does that, you deserve to go to hell. But anyways, this whole video is just, I got to say to those people who post on the forums, you're a crappy person if you don't rush your dog to the ER vet. I'll tell you what, dude. I made $15,000 this year, and I got 2 kids and a wife to support. I managed to keep all my bills paid, but I can't afford no $1,000 vet visit. And yeah, of course, if it was one of my children or my wife or whatever, I'd work out some payment plans or whatever I got to do. I love this animal, but I'm not about to rack up a $2,000-$3,000 vet bill to figure out what's going on. And he probably wouldn't even have made it to the vet. It was weird. The symptoms just came on so fast. I mean, I left for work this morning. He came out of his house and he greeted me and he's like, hey, what's up? Because a normal routine thing. Dogs are used to that. And I came home from work today and he wasn't doing so good. But I don't know. I don't understand people who are so quick to judge, telling people you should do this and you should do that, and you don't even know the circumstances. You don't even, most of this video is talking, by the way. It's nothing to do with the video. But you don't know the whole side of the story. I bet you all those people who posted on the internet, you should do this, you should do that. You probably make $30,000-$40,000 a year. So what? So what's $1,000, $2,000 vet bill? If I wouldn't have stole this dog and gave him a better life, he'd have been dead a long time ago, fighting other dogs. And I think that's just plain horrible. Fight animals. That's disgusting, you know. So here I am, a poor person. I'm admitting to the world I'm a poor person. You know, I don't have much of anything, but I do the best I can with what I got, you know. And if I wouldn't have had to waste all my time on the internet, weeding through forums, you know, reading people's answers, they never even answered the question. It never even got to that point what you should do. It was a blame game of, oh, you should take your animal to the vet and blah, 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 blah. If the internet wasn't clogged up with y'all's BS, maybe somebody would have had an answer, you know. Maybe somebody would say, okay, the dog was fine, and then it came down with vomiting and dizziness, and it won't eat or drink nothing, which is what my dog had, and rapid breathing. And I could have put in that stuff in Google, and they could have told me what was wrong, you know. It wasn't heartworms, because I had a dog die of heartworms. That does not come on rapidly, like I just had. My other dog, Rocky, he died of heartworms, you know, and it took a while. He went around coughing for a while and everything, and by the time I figured out what was wrong, and yes, I did go try to get treatment for whoever wants to leave that kind of crappy comment. I did try, but it was too late, you know, probably because I'm a poor person and I can't afford an ER vet visit. But my whole thing, this is an anger video, and, you know, if I didn't have to weed through all that, I finally gave up. I couldn't find an answer. There was tons of results in Google to the answer to my question, but each one of them had comments about the people blaming the owner of the pet for what a horrible person they were, looking on the internet for an answer to their question, than to just take them to the vet. Well, my whole thing is, you know, sometimes it's not just that easy. Go to a vet, okay? You know, I hope every single one of you people who's got a decent amount of money has to one day in your life stoop down to my level. You know, nothing would make me happier than to scoop up my dog and fly to Jacksonville. I'm not going to tell y'all where I live, but the closest vet is in Jacksonville. And I would just love to just run up there, say, you know, x-ray my dog and figure out everything is wrong and make them better. I'd have loved that. But in all reality, I can't afford that. And, you know, if y'all want to look down on a poor person, well, let me tell you this. If it wasn't for us poor people, who would be out here cutting your grass? Who'd be here fixing your car? Who'd be here cutting your hair? Who'd be working in the grocery department stocking your shelves? You know, there's a whole list of things us poor people do, and I believe it's the other way around. I think us poor people should be paid top dollar because we have the mechanical skills to do the job and get it done. We're not just sitting in an office sketching it out on paper saying, oh yeah, this will work great. Because I tell you what, I've done a lot of construction jobs. Some brainiac sketched something out on paper, build this house, this is how it's going to work and it's going to work great. Guess what? It didn't work that way. And we had to figure out our own way to make it work. So this is my rant and rave about my dead dog. And the thanks to all the people on, you know, Yahoo and Google and all the people who posted their questions on forums trying to figure out what was wrong with their dog, and they could never get an answer because all the people on the internet telling them how they're such a horrible person for not immediately rushing them to an ER vet. You know, if it wasn't for y'all clogging up the forums, maybe I could have found an answer for my dog, what was wrong with him. You know, there was one thing I think was close, was, you know, the dog could have got constipation from eating garbage, you know, and yeah, he got into my garbage. He does that a lot. But I tell you what, I followed that. They said about the X-Lax, you know, give it a little bit, give it some water, give it some Gatorade, and take him for a walk, and he'll pass it. Well, you know what? By the time I weeded through all the bull crap and I found that answer, it was too late. My dog, he couldn't even stand up anymore. I've spent hours before he died trying to find the answer after I got off work. And it was too late because of all the bull crap. So, you know, you people should be ashamed of yourselves. And that's all I got to say. You should be ashamed of yourselves. For all the rest of you good people on the internet, You know, I don't know what to say, guys. I think that the four horsemen are getting closer to riding in the sky, because it seems that in this world it's easier to blame and tell people, hey, you should do this and you should do that, than for people to actually step back for a second and say, hey, if I was in this situation with these circumstances, how would I handle that situation? What could I actually do? You know? And that's the thing, man, is it's easy to sit there and say what you should do, but then you got to step back and look at the reality of what that person actually can do. A lot of people can do certain things. A lot of people can't do certain things. So you guys should think about that.